Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to paint up a Genestealer Cultist on the next installment of Let's Paint. Alright, as always, we're going to start off with a good primer on this model. I'm using Stynylrez Gray once again, and that's because this model has a lot of neutral tones on it, so we'll just work from a neutral gray. And with the primer dry, we're going to start blocking in our base colors. We're going to start by working on the white areas. Now, I'm going to actually use a gray color here called AK 3rd Generation Medium Gray. And the secret to painting white is never to start with white. It's always to start with something that's just about white and work your way up. And with the whites laid down, we're going to move on to the flesh. Here I'm going to use AK 3rd Generation Warm Gray, and I'm using this color because I want to get an alien pale skin tone that'll help give that creepy vibe of the cultists. With the flesh base coat done, we're going to move on to boxing in the silver areas, and here we're going to do Vallejo Model Metallic Air Steel. With the steel dry, we're going to move on to the black areas. Once again, I'm going to reach for my favorite, the Amsterdam black ink. I will put the link down below. Once again, this is my favorite black color. It covers extremely well in one pass. It'll even cover up white or silver. It's a wonderful, wonderful black paint. And with the black done, we're going to move on to the dark metallic areas. This is a simple mix of 1-to-1 Vallejo Model Air Metallic Steel to Amsterdam Black. Now let's add a little color to this scheme. We're going to reach for AK 3rd Generation Light Orange. And with the orange boxed in, we're going to fill out the gold areas, and on this model it's only the little cultist symbol here. And this is a 1-to-1 mix of Liquitex Raw Umber to Vallejo Model Air Steel. And with all the base colors boxed in, we're going to add a little bit of depth and start shading. I'm going to use my Secret Sauce Black Wash, recipe down below, and I will just go ahead and apply that to all the areas that I want to be gray and the white armor as well. With the whites and grays done, let's go ahead and hit the metallic areas. I'm going to reach for Army Painter's Speed Paint Gravelord Gray and hit all those areas. Not everything always goes in a nice stepwise fashion. Here, while I was taking a look, I realized I missed a little stick of dynamite on its back, so I quickly grabbed some AK brick red and just base coated that. And with that done, we're going to move on to adding some vibrancy to the orange parts. A lot of good orange paints are a bit on the lighter side and come out a bit pale. It helps them base coat better, but here's my little secret technique to adding a lot more depth back. We're going to reach for some Fire Giant Orange speed paint from Army Painter, and we're just going to give the orange a good once over. And as you can see, we've got a very nice, vibrant, bright poppy orange now. So with that done, we're going to move on to working on the flesh tones. Here we're going to take some Crusader Skin speed paint from Army Painter and just give the skin a full coat. And now with all the bases and washes done, I've also hit the model with a quick matte varnish just to seal everything before I move on to doing highlights. We're going to move on to working on the eyes next. Now bear with me, this is the first time I tried to do really close-up details on video. It was a bit hard to capture perfectly, but we'll do our best. So we're going to start off by hitting the mouth and eyes with some Amsterdam black to add a little bit of depth to them. And next up, we're going to move on to working on the eyes and teeth, and this is always a struggle for everybody. The secret here is to actually put a dot of white on the inside and outside of the black areas that you just painted. This will help prevent eyes from looking like snake eyes on every model that you use. And once the two dots are in, you can even go back with the black paint and try and rim around the white areas as needed. And here you can see the eyes and teeth are boxed in. It looks a bit rough and ready right now, but don't worry, we're going to highlight the skin tones here, and that's going to help kind of dull down the bright poppiness of the eyes and teeth. We're going to start with a little bit of warm gray, and we're just going to start boxing in the skin tones. So with the midtones established, we're going to start doing the facial highlights. Now to highlight a face, I think of a vertical cylinder, and I highlight towards the center of that cylinder. So things like the eye ridges, the area between the nose, between the eyes, the nose itself, and the chin. And then as you go away from the center, things will get darker. Now let's keep highlighting towards the center of that cylinder. We're going to add a little bit more white to that warm gray, and we're going to hit more of the center of the face. And let's finish up the face with an almost pure white highlight here. And we're just going to add a little bit to the ridges of the eyes, the tip of the nose, between the eyes, and the chin. So now with all the highlights done, we're going to add a little bit of character to the face. We're going to start by grabbing AK 3rd Gen Old Rose and just hitting the bottom lip there to help define the mouth a bit more and clean it up. And then we're going to add a little bit to the scar tissue that's on his cheek as well. And with that lip done, we're going to add a little bit more of an alien vibe to this guy. We're going to grab Army Painter Quick Shade Purple and just hit some of those darker recesses just to kind of shift that area towards a purple hue. And with that same quick shade purple, we're going to start painting in the alien liver spots here. This will really add a nice little interesting detail to the model, and I just take it and just paint little tiny circles as best you can and make them smaller and smaller as you head towards the face of the miniature. And with the face and head details done, let's go on to the orange areas and add a little bit more depth there. I'm going to take Army Painter Dark Wood Speed Paint and just hit the darkest areas to help give a little definition to them. And with the orange fully shaded, we're going to take our original orange color, the AK 3rd Generation Light Orange, and we're just going to do a little bit of edge highlighting here to help bring out the details. With the orange done, we are going to move on to working on the white armor. We're going to take that original gray that we base coated with, the AK medium gray, and we're going to just do some edge highlights here. And also, when I get to the shoulder armor, I'm going to add a chip here and there to make it look a little bit more worn and add some interesting texture to the model. And with the white done, we're going to move on to finishing the metallic areas. I'm going to take my trusty Vallejo Model Air Metallic Steel, and I'm just going to add some highlights to those silver areas, and I'm going to add some chips to the gunmetal areas. And we're in the home stretch of finishing the model here. We're going to move on to working on the sensors and the spotlight. And anywhere that I want to have that eerie glow to, I'm going to add some white down first. And then once that's dry, I'm going to cover it in Army Painter Speed Paint Plasmatic Bolt. Now, unfortunately, I had my first technical difficulty here. My camera did not record me doing the plasmatic bolt wash. You'll see the finished step next. And here the plasmatic bolt has been applied and is dry. And to give it that final little poppiness, we're going to take pure white and just apply it to the center of any of these glowing sensors. Now let's finish off that cult symbol that I'm sure has been annoying everyone as much as it has me, with the same mixture that we base coated it with. And let's add a quick highlight to the black using AK 3rd Generation Basalt Gray. And with the black done, let's add on some squad markings. I like to do a simple colored stripe on the right shoulder plate here. We just grab the same red I used for the dynamite, that is the brick red from AK 3rd Gen, and I'm just going to paint a simple stripe right down the center. And with that red stripe blocked in, let's weather it a little bit and make it feel like it's part of the model. We're going to take a bit of that medium gray that we highlighted the armor with and just add some chips over the top of it. And if you had a hard time painting straight lines, this is also a good time to help cover up any of those little errors or mistakes that you made. And with that, the model itself is complete. We are going to move on to finishing the base. We're going to grab a K 3rd Gen Basalt Gray again and just give the base a good coating. With that base coat dry, we're going to do a quick dry brush of AK Pale Gray over the top here. And don't worry if you can see some of that original sand color showing through. Once we do the wash, it'll bring it all together nicely. And with that dry brush done, we're going to go ahead and wash the base with my Secret Sauce Black Wash, recipe down below once again. This will really help tie those two colors together, and it will also hide any areas that we didn't get a good base coat on. And with the wash dry to finish the model, we are going to grab the Amsterdam Black and just give the rim of the base a good coat. I personally like to do this. I feel like it adds a nice finished feel to the model, but you can add really any color you want that goes with the base itself. And to finish the model, as always, I'm going to start with a gloss varnish to add a nice hard protective layer so none of that paint will chip off. And then I will finish it with a matte coat from VMS Matte Varnish. This really helps unify the whole model and really hide any brush strokes or any imperfections and makes it look ultra smooth. And there he is in all his finished glory, ready to usurp the Imperium from within. Hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and as always, leave comments down below as to what you'd like to see me paint. Thanks!